Here we go. Awesome. I'm going last, so I appreciate you guys all for sticking around here to hear my presentation. As Sonia mentioned, my name is Antonio McChriston, more easily known as Coach Antonio. I'm a performance and health coach. I own and operate a performance and health training studio called Ocala Sports Performance. I help people restore and build on their health, nutrition, health and performance through training, nutrition, and recovery. Okay, so it's my intention that I can teach you guys something through this presentation that you find useful and will start actively implementing it within your day-to-day lives. Right, so a little bit about me. I was born and raised right here in Ocala, Florida. Went to the University of South Florida and majored in exercise science with a minor in public health. From undergrad, I went from undergrad to unemployed. So I figured I would just kind of hang out a little bit longer, and I ended up earning a master's degree in exercise science with a concentration in strength and conditioning. Okay, likewise have a certified strength and conditioning specialist through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. I'm also a certified level 1 coach in exercise nutrition through Precision Nutrition. Right, the health and fitness game is
only the tip of the iceberg. That's supported by all the thinking, prioritize.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
sure. Sorry.
Is it okay? Yeah. Can we just mute it? Super. Yep. So so the health and fitness game, right? It's a lot of what you don't see mixed with what you do see, right? So I always say it's really, an iceberg, right? So everything that you kind of see is just the tip of the iceberg, right? That's accompanied by all of the planning and learning and researching and execution that you see down here, right? So what I'm going to give you in this presentation is going to be up here, right? But if you want any more, right, make you pay for all this down here. Right, so as I mentioned, right, but if you guys do want a little bit more information about some of the programs that we offer, right, we got an online 28-day coaching program that we offer at-home workouts, likewise custom meal plans, and recovery and mobility strategies also, okay? I have some flyers up here. Through this presentation, I will provide you guys with a link where you can get a little bit of discount, but that'll be as much as the pitch goes from here, okay? From now on, we're gonna try to just give you some really good information you can take home and start using. All right, so we've all seen this before, right? If you're standing in the grocery aisle and you just happen to take a look, you see, 14-day detoxes and instant rip abs and, lose 5 pounds in 5 minutes, okay? But I'm here to tell you that it does not exist, okay? It does not exist. However, consistency does, right? Consistency is what wins the game, okay? So as you can see, people who are as little as 10 to 49% consistent, right? Both men and women lost 11 pounds, right? This information is taken over a research study done over the course of a year using a thousand data points, okay? So, say men and women both lost 11 pounds, okay? However, right, more consistency gets you, greater results as demonstrated by those who were consistent, 90 to 100% of the time, okay? So that sounds, relatively reasonable and straightforward, but how, right? So as far as, fat loss and, muscle gain, right, building lean muscle tissue and building strength throughout a full range of motion is going to be the name of the game, okay? So kind of looking at, the strength spot, right, which is, overall general strength, and then hypertrophy, which is, the muscle size, okay? Kind of hitting somewhere right in between, those two. We're looking at about, 6 to 8 reps, okay? So the idea is try to go, a little heavier weight, but try to go, a moderate amount of reps, okay? And who knows the difference between compound exercises and isolated exercises?
I would guess compound's whole body and isolated is a specific area.
Oh, very good, very good, very good. Yes. right on, right? So compound exercises are exercises that require at least two joints and two muscle groups, okay? Likewise, isolated exercises are exercises that require one muscle group and one joint, okay? So you think about isolated exercises, right? The bicep curls are a really common one, okay? Likewise, the leg curl, leg extension, okay? However, compound exercises that require, big muscle groups, okay? Require more than one joint through at a time, right? Like the overhead push and pull, we're getting the shoulder and the elbow both involved, okay? Likewise, a push and pull, at the upper body, okay? And then, squats, lunges, right? Those type of movements should be really prioritized in the weight room, okay? And although, a lot of machines have a very, very useful, they can be used in a variety of settings, especially like a rehab or, helping people just kind of, build strength in a specific area. But we really want to try to prioritize using free weight exercises, okay? Exercises, like the dumbbells, or body weight exercises here, okay? And then likewise, some barbell stuff, okay? So we're going to go, compound exercises, and more free weight exercises. Okay, so what's the best diet?
None.
I like it. Yep, nutrition agnostics. Okay, so physiologically speaking, the body can do well under a variety of different conditions. Okay, whether or not you eat mostly meat or mostly plants, or whether or not you eat mostly carbs or mostly fats, or whether or not you eat one time a day or multiple times a day. Okay. What we really want to try to prioritize is nutritional quality, okay? So, regardless of, the quality of, your foods, though, calories still count, okay? So, if your goal is to lose weight, you want to eat in a slight calorie deficit, okay? The Harris-Benedict equation, okay? Which is an equation that takes into account your age, your weight, your height, your sex, and the amount of physical activity you do will determine a baseline caloric intake. Okay, so going about minus 10% from that number has been shown to be a modest and sustainable calorie deficit to maintain. Okay, here's a really good, graphic that kind of shows, portion control, okay, using the palm of the hand, right, for protein, fist for veggies, thumbs for fat, and cups of carbs, okay. The hand size portion guide is really useful because your hands go with you everywhere, okay, and then likewise, they are relative to your individual body size, okay, so men, right, generally can get away with about 6 to 8 of each of these, right, daily, and then women about 4 to 6, okay. However, if your goal is to lose a little bit of weight, right, men can subtract 1 to 2 servings of carbs and fats, right, from here, okay, and then also women can subtract about half to 1 serving of carbs and fats, okay? You don't really want to touch the protein because protein is king, okay? It's the only macronutrient that our body can't store, okay? So we can actively store carbs and fat, okay? But we can't really store protein, okay? So what we want to do is always have an influx of protein coming in so that way we can help offset the amino acid turnover and metabolism from the breakdown here, okay? So adjusting for protein and calories, okay, you can manipulate the carbs and fats to kind of, get to your desired place you want to go. All right, and then supplements, Jesus. this is a controversial subject to say the least. Okay. However, there are some things that we really want to kind of look at from a foundational standpoint. Okay. Although we try our best to eat as many whole and minimally processed foods as we can, okay, we often don't eat a wide enough variety of foods to get all the essential vitamins, minerals, and things that we need from our diet. Okay, therefore, that's where these supplements kind of come into play. Okay, so I mean, even if we're eating right on a healthy diet, we're eating chicken and broccoli every day, we're probably only eating chicken and broccoli every day, right? So, you know, using a multivitamin, you know, and, you know, protein or fish oil to kind of come in and help clean up some of those nutrient deficiencies that we get from foods in our whole food diet is where the supplements kind of come into play, okay? So, kind of keeping in mind that supplements are just that, right? They're supplements. They're not designed to serve as its own food group, but kind of more so to fill in the gaps, okay? Kind of play as a backup parachute from our real diets. All right, so yeah, kind of touching on that, right? Here's a graphic of some of the most, you know, common nutrient deficiencies. So, yeah, from a coaching practice standpoint, getting people on, you know, kind of the foundational stuff is always going to be important, right? The fat burners and, you know, the detoxes, they're sexy, and I get it. You know, everybody wants to kind of come in and lose weight quick, right? But basic metabolism and biological functions happen with these. Okay, so if we can get these, you know, kind of optimized and to a point to where they need to be, you know, the body's really good at kind of regulating, you know, itself as far as, you know, fat loss and muscle gain. Okay, but yeah, kind of filling in, you know, like I say, some of these most common nutrient deficiencies first before getting on the fat burners and, you know, the detoxes and such. All right, and then recovery and adaptation. Okay, training by default is a stressor. Okay, so although, you know, working out and, you know, exercising is a really good stimulus to impose a change and create adaptation, right? Where that adaptation really takes place is through the rest and recovery, which you allow your body to heal and adapt. Okay, so kind of looking at, you know, a positive progression as far as, you know, training. This adaptation and recovery really just means rest and nutrition. Okay, we can work out, but then get an appropriate amount of rest and an adequate amount of nutrition, right? We kind of trend positively here, right? However, if we spend a lot of time in the gym, a lot of time in the calorie deficit, a lot of time not really getting the essential vitamins and minerals and nutrients, right? We kind of trend down here. Okay, so we work out, we sleep, we eat, right? We come here. Okay, we work out, we don't sleep enough, we don't eat enough, we don't get enough minerals and vitamins, right? We come down here. Okay, so as big as training is, recovery and adaptation is where the real magic happens. All right, so some of the bottom lines, okay? Bottom lines on strength training. Muscle size and strength are the key goals, okay? So we're looking to perform about 6 to 8 reps of multi-muscle and multi-joint, right? They're called compound. Yes, love it. Compound exercises using a relatively heavy load, okay? Most research finds that that's about 80 to 85% of your max effort, okay? So you want to try to get to a point where you're putting 6 to 8 reps, you know, in motion, and 6, 7, and 8 start to talk to you a little bit, okay? By the time you get there, you're in a really good spot, okay? Let's say start with 2 reps using a full body workout, okay? So just try to, it's a lot of exercise programs, right? And, you know, not saying good or bad or one way or another. You know, you may see some that kind of split the body into different sections, right? Leg day, chest day, arm day, right? However, our body does not work like that in real life, okay? So we want to mimic our training right, to kind of simulate our real life. Okay, so we spend a lot of time, doing a lot of movements like this, right? Putting stuff in the cabinets, getting up and down out of the chairs, up and up the toilets, right? So we want to try to, use a lot of full body exercises, right? So we say start with 2 sets, and then as we get stronger, progressively over time, right, we'll start increasing to 3 sets. Okay? I put this one in red, but I think this is probably the most important. Okay? We want to be able to train through a full range of motion. Okay? So try to recruit as many, muscle fibers as we can, so that way we can get strength, increase, flexibility, mobility, help maintain the integrity of our joints and our muscles. Okay? So train through a full range of motion. Okay? And then likewise, mix it up. Experiment in the weight room and have fun, right? You go under there, I get it, right? I try to work out every so often, but once the weight gets across your back and your muscle starts to burn, it sucks. Okay? So most importantly, try to do something that's different and stimulating, okay, and allows you to have fun. Okay? About malnutrition, there is no single best diet. Okay, but however, if your goal is to lose weight, then you must create a calorie deficit. Okay, keeping protein intake normal. Okay, you can adjust for fat and carbs. Okay, ideally, we're looking to get about 1 gram of body weight, right? Ideal body weight daily in protein. Okay, like I said, this has been shown to help offset the amino acid turnover, likewise allow you to maintain that lean muscle mass that you build in the weight room, so that way your body can continue to burn calories at rest. Okay, muscles are very metabolically active. Okay, so that means they'll burn a lot of calories. Okay, so what we want to do is try to preserve our lean muscle tissue with our protein intake, so that way our body will then switch to burning fats, which by default, what it does at rest, but the more muscle we have, the more fat it will burn. Okay, you can experiment with different carbs and ratios. Okay, carbohydrates and fats, I guess both have kind of gotten drugged through the mud the last, 2 decades or so, but they both have, a very important role in our diets. Okay, carbohydrates are used primarily to fuel activity, okay? And then likewise, fats are used to fuel our recovery. Okay, so if you're going to eat carbs, right? Carbs does what?
Energy.
Yes, but it also, from a hormonal response, does what? It spikes our insulin. Exactly. And insulin is a fat storage hormone, a nutrient storage hormone. Okay, so if you're going to eat carbs, right, try not to eat them in a rested state. Okay, because they will more times than not get partitioned into stored energy. Okay, so say carbs around activity, right, and then fats to kind of fuel recovery. Okay, and then we're focusing on nutrient dense foods. Okay, so the more whole processed foods, right, the less minimally processed foods are going to kind of fall into this category. Okay, so just kind of keeping it super simple from like a shopping standpoint, or if you're out, looking at food labels, right? Excuse me, they say that, if it has, more than 5 to 7 ingredients, chances are it's not a real food. Okay, so try to stick to foods that have been processed as little as possible. Okay, but regardless of all this up here, right, this is one that we're looking at. Okay, try to make sure that it's something that we can maintain for the long term. Okay, and then on supplements. Okay, like I say, supplements are just okay, the most useful when paired with a diet of whole, minimally processed, nutrient-rich foods. Okay, And the primary focus of supplements are to help remove nutrient deficiencies. Okay, like I say, we're not looking to come in and overhaul our lives using supplements. Okay, but more so, we're looking to use them to help facilitate what we're already doing through our lifestyle, our nutrition, our training, and our recovery to help play an aid in that point. Okay? And then likewise, not all supplements are created equally. Okay? So please be sure to do your research before putting anything in your mouth.
I'm sorry, what is the LML?
Typo. That should actually be MLM.
Right.
Multi-level marketing.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay, so I would be remiss if I didn't talk about water. Okay, water is hands down the most essential nutrient within our body. Okay, as you can see, it makes upwards of 95% of some of our body parts. Okay, muscles help lubricate the joints. Water helps lubricate the joints. Okay, it helps regulate our body temperature. Okay, likewise, it helps nutrients get in and out of the cells. Okay, as little as 1% decrease in total body water has been shown to have adverse effects on performance, cognition, sleep quality, and just a host of every other thing. Okay, so with that being said, right, the question is how much should we be drinking, right? And if a really good standard or model to go by is to take your body weight and cut it in half, okay? And that number in ounces should be the amount of total daily water that you take in, okay? Please, don't praise